Hey girl, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Trinity. Today I'm going to be doing an influencer slash content creator Q&A because your girl just hit 100k subscribers. It happened yesterday actually, and I promised y'all that I would do this to give back to y'all pretty much, because I always get a lot of questions on like editing and my routine, my schedule for like filming, all that good stuff, how I balance everything. So we're going to cover all of that in this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you like personal development, self-development type content that helps you to become your best self, because that is my specialty. So we're not going to do a long intro because there are a lot of questions, and y'all actually asked a lot of good questions this time. So let's get right into it. All right, question number one. I'm reading them off my phone, so if y'all see me looking to the side, that's why. How do you come up with content slash a niche and stick to it? I feel like I want to do everything and it just makes my channel so messy. Also, how do you keep the viewers interested? Okay, so that's kind of like three questions. We got how do you come up with content, how do you come up with a niche, and how do you keep your viewers interested? First, I'm going to answer how do you come up with a niche. Your niche is whatever you're passionate about, pretty much. So my niche is personal development slash self-development, because pretty much people come to my channel to find ways to better themselves, find ways to become their dream self and to just become their higher self. That's what the overarching theme is on my channel. Now, I'll say that I am like a lifestyle influencer pretty much, because I think the personal development, self-development can kind of fall under the lifestyle category. I share a lot of my life experiences, how I overcame them. I give people a lot of like life advice pretty much, so that goes under lifestyle. I'm also into fashion and beauty. I share more fashion and beauty stuff on like TikTok and Instagram. I'm trying to bring it over here a little bit more, but overall I would say I am fashion, beauty, lifestyle. So you have to think about what you want people to come to your channel or your social platform for. What are they coming for? Just think about what you're passionate about and what you want to be known for. It doesn't have to be one specific thing, but you do have to be consistent with all of the things that you choose to make content about. The next part was how do you come up with content? So honestly, when I first started my channel, I was making my videos about things that I was having conversations about in person. I'm a lash tech for those of y'all who don't know. So I'm kind of like a therapist to a lot of my clients. So I was taking a lot of the questions people were asking me, a lot of advice that I was giving all the time. I just took that stuff and brought it over here to YouTube and just filmed myself talking about it. After a while, I did find myself getting in these ruts where I couldn't really come up with content, and one thing that really helps me is Pinterest. YouTube is really where I struggled the most with like content ideas. So I'll go on Pinterest and I'll type in, let's say I want to do some type of video about self-care, but I don't want it to just be self-care, like it has to kind of be something specific. I'll go on Pinterest and I'll type in self-care tips or something like that, and they'll have a bunch of different posts on there that have to do with self-care tips. It'll be a lot of like those text posts that you see on Instagram. Sometimes I'll take like the title of whatever it is and I'll come up with my own list, so I'm not stealing the 5 steps they came up with. I also keep a note in my phone of different content ideas. That's for both YouTube and Instagram. Whenever I just randomly think of something that I want to say to y'all, I'll put it in my notes. And sometimes I'll be able to come up with something long form for YouTube for that. Like sometimes it's not enough for me to make a long video for y'all, so I'll find a way to incorporate that subject or theme into my short form content on Instagram and TikTok. And then I also sometimes go through Instagram and I'll just look through my explore page and I'll just save content that I like. I have a folder on Instagram titled Content Inspo where I literally save anything that inspires me, and I get inspiration from anything. Like sometimes I'll see a cooking video and I'll save it to Content Inspo because I like the different angles they're using. I like the way they made their caption. Like I draw inspiration from anywhere. So you just have to learn how to look at content and figure out what you like about it, what draws you to it, and save that and take what you can for whatever your niche is. I think the key is to just make sure you're keeping a note of all of these things, or keep like an inspo board on either Pinterest or Instagram, so that when you draw blanks, you can go to that and you got plenty of ideas. My note for content inspo on my phone is so long, and sometimes I get really detailed. Like sometimes I will write out a whole caption or a whole script for a voiceover in my notes, because I forget stuff very, very, very easily and very often. And I don't ever want to forget how good an idea was when I first got the idea, if that makes sense. Okay, and then the last part of that question was, how do you keep the viewers interested? I think constantly bringing value is the most important thing, and switching it up every now and then. Like, let's say you're a beauty influencer and you like to just create aesthetically pleasing videos of you doing your makeup on Instagram. I'm not gonna lie, I will save a lot of content like that, but will I actually follow someone who just strictly does that type of content? Not really, because I like to be inspired, and if I'm saying the same thing over and over and over and over again, I don't really get inspired by that. That's just me though. So it depends who you're appealing to. It depends what you like. I fell into this habit of just creating outfit videos, like style videos on Instagram, when I first started getting consistent with posting content on there, because that's something that I didn't feel like y'all really liked over here on YouTube. So I was like, okay, Instagram seems to really like when I post like my outfits and stuff, so let me just really push that. But then I remembered that that is not the value that I bring. That's not the only value I bring. So now my focus is trying to tie all of my assets and all of my values into my content on all platforms. I want them to see me putting on a cute outfit, but also hear me talking about something that stimulates their mind. And to me, that will keep my viewers more interested, because they're not just seeing cute outfits. I'm constantly talking about something new. So that's just an example of how I do it. But overall, just find new ways to do what you're already doing. Don't do the same thing the same way all the time. Okay, someone asked, any advice for the girlies who are just starting out? A lot of people ask me questions that are kind of similar to that. I think there was someone who said, how do you start? Like, literally, how do you start? I got something for you. My simple answer is to literally just start. Like, stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for the moment where you just feel super duper ready. Stop waiting until you can gather all the research in the world. You can research all day long. You can ask people questions all day long. But there are some things you just will never learn until you actually start and get the experience. Let's say you just started a new job. Watching a whole bunch of videos on how to do the job is gonna help you, but it's not going to be anything compared to getting hands-on experience. You learn the most from doing whatever the thing is. I did so much research before I started my channel. What's the best equipment? What's the best lighting? The best microphones? A lot of that stuff I could not even afford at that time. It's never going to be perfect. You're never going to be 100% ready. You just have to jump out there and do it. I told y'all how I jumped out there with my styling content on Instagram when I decided I wanted to be consistent on Instagram. After a few months, I started feeling like, why did I do that? Like, why did I jump out there and just do styling content, knowing that that's not my #1 niche? Like, that's not the only thing I want to focus on. Because now when you go to my Instagram, you see this whole like 3 or 4 rows of reels of me just doing styling videos and nothing else. I started to kind of beat up on myself for making that decision. But then I thought to myself, like, that was how I got consistent. I'm not gonna say it didn't matter what content I put out, but it kind of didn't really matter what content I put out, because I was trying to get in the habit of posting consistently. I was trying to get in the habit of posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that got me in the habit. And once I got in the swing of things and I realized that it's really not that hard to balance my YouTube channel and Instagram, then I was able to start diversifying my content and really being a little bit more creative with my content. Everyone always wants this long drawn out answer and like a whole lot of crazy creative unique advice when they ask that question, how do I start? Where do I start? But the answer is so simple. You literally just do it. When you first start, your content is not going to be as good as someone who's been doing it for a year. It's not even going to be as good as someone who's been doing it for 3 months or 6 months, because you learn as you go. Don't be scared to be a beginner. That's where a lot of people mess up. A lot of people are scared to suck at stuff. A lot of people are scared to look dumb. You got to stop being scared of all that. I wanted to start a YouTube channel years ago, and I didn't do it because I didn't want people to see my content and be like, who does this girl think she is? Why is she vlogging? Don't nobody care what she doing on a daily basis. I was scared that people would think that, but then I got over that fear because I realized that, yeah, nobody's really going to care that much about me until it becomes something. And that's fine. That's normal. That's just how the world works. That's how we are as humans. So I just did it. And now I have so many people supporting me. Someone asked, how do you let go of imposter syndrome? This is a really, really good question. And honestly, I don't think anyone really, well, let me not speak for everyone. I think imposter syndrome is something that will always kind of be in the back of my mind. It may not affect me as much now as it used to, but it might not be something that ever goes away completely. And I think it's because no matter who you are, no matter how confident you are, no matter how good your life is, you're always kind of going to have imposter syndrome because you're showing the best parts of your life. And if your life is not like that 100% of the time, you're gonna kind of feel like an imposter. But you have to remember that that does not make you an imposter. You're literally just showing people what you want them to see. One thing I've heard a lot of people say, and I definitely agree with this, is that Instagram is a really, really hard place to get consistent with content, because a lot of us have had Instagram for a really long time. A lot of us have a lot of followers who kind of grew up with us, like people we met in elementary school, middle school, high school, college. And if you're anything like me, you've reinvented yourself so many times since you met those people. And sometimes it's hard to show up as this new version of you when you're surrounded by a bunch of people who knew the old version of you, or who know, well, yeah, knew the old version of you. But you have to consistently show up as that new version of you. You have to consistently convince yourself that this is you. You're not faking it. And if you are faking it, you're faking it because this is who you are trying to become. And those people will follow suit. And if they don't like it, they can unfollow you. I had to get over the fear of people being like, she thinks she's an influencer. Because at the end of the day, whether I have Instagram, YouTube, TikTok or not, I'm still influencing people. And I know that in my heart. So I don't really care what other people think about it. I've accepted it. I've accepted that this is who I am. I've accepted that I have changed since I met a lot of my followers. And I know some people who actually go through and remove followers, like people who they don't really resonate with anymore because they've become this new version of themselves. If you need to go that far, then do that. If you need to start a whole new Instagram so that you don't feel like you're being something that you're not just because everyone knows a different version of you, then do that. Do what you gotta do. But continue to show up as who you want to be. Continue to show up as who you're proud of, and don't worry about what other people feel about it. Okay, someone asked, can you reveal all the equipment, software, equipment/software that you use for your videos? I actually got a few people who asked this in like a different way, but starting with YouTube, I'm gonna take a picture of this eventually and I'll put it on screen. I use the Sony ZV-1 for my camera. I got this particular camera because I started my channel as a vlogger. Do I necessarily recommend this camera if you're doing a lot of sit-down videos like me? Not necessarily, because the battery drains really fast and it also overheats really fast. So every 20 minutes maybe I have to turn it off because it starts to overheat. I put my camera on this tripod. It's the same tripod that I use for vlogging whenever I do vlogs, and also my reels for the most part, if I'm not doing like a makeup video, but we'll get to that. My tripod is right in the middle of my vanity, and of course the vanity is just like a plain white desk, and then I have this mirror with lights all around it, vanity mirror, I guess. I got that from Amazon. And pretty much like for my lighting and stuff, I just have my vanity lights on the mixed setting, so it's like some white, some warm, and then I always have my lamp behind me on, the other one on the other side, and I close my curtains. They're not closed all the way, clearly, but I close the curtains so that I can get lighting specifically from these light sources. I don't like to have my natural lighting coming in because I'm not facing the window. Okay, so that's it for YouTube. My setup is very, very, very simple. I'm gonna put a video right here of one of my like reels, makeup reels, and I'm gonna show y'all what I use. So usually when I'm doing my makeup videos, I'm sitting right here. So first off, I put my phone in this little phone holder. I bought this because I think Monet McMichael had it. This is perfect because you can bend it. It has a little gooseneck thingy. So I keep that right there. I use this light. This is from Amazon as well. See? Oh, that eats. This is the mixed setting as well. I really, 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 really love this light. I'm about to start using it in my bathroom for my like self-care videos, and when I'm doing my makeup videos, I actually turn this vanity lighting off. I recently started doing that. So yeah, I keep it real simple. I don't like a whole bunch of stuff. Softwares, editing software, I use CapCut for both my reels and my YouTube videos. For my YouTube videos, I use CapCut on my laptop, and for my reels, I use CapCut on my phone. Someone said, what camera do you use for videos and what camera do you use for pictures? I kind of just answered that. So for pictures, I always use my phone. Today I'm doing a shoot with my friend Aaron, and we're going to be using his camera. This is going to be my first time doing like professional photos for my Instagram. And yeah, for my reels, I always use my phone. YouTube, always use my Sony ZV-1. Someone said beginner friendly editing tips for YouTube. Honestly, I keep it real simple. The one tip I have that I feel like will help a lot of people because it keeps your viewers engaged is cutting out the dead silence. Like whenever I edit my videos, if there's a moment where I pause, I edit that out so that you can't hear the pause in the actual video, if that makes sense. People get distracted very easily, and because I'm sitting here talking the whole time in most of my videos, like y'all know I do my sit down videos, I gotta keep people engaged. I don't want to keep saying I edit out the I edit out the likes, I edit out all the stuff that does not make the video flow in a good manner. As far as how to edit, y'all might have to just watch a tutorial or just play around with CapCut. If you know how to split a video and drag different parts of the content, you're good. You can play around with the other stuff as time goes on, but for the most part, just start out with it being basic. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy. Sometimes if I'm talking about something specific that's not right in front of me, I'll put a picture of it on the screen so that it keeps people engaged. They can actually see what's going on. Like if I've referenced one of my previous videos, I'll put a screenshot of the thumbnail on the screen. I use a lot of sound effects. So like when I'm transitioning, I'll put like a swish sound or whoosh sound, whatever you call it. Do a lot of like mouse click sound effects whenever I have text popping up on the screen. Cause sometimes if you have text popping up on the screen, if somebody's just listening to your video and not necessarily watching, they won't see whatever it was that you put on the screen. I know a lot of people just listen to me while they're riding in the car or while they're getting ready in the morning. So 9 times out of 10, they're not looking at the phone. And if I use a sound effect, like the click sound when I'm popping text up on the screen, that will let them know, oh, let me look at the phone and see what she just showed or whatever. That's probably all my tips for editing. Okay, so someone asked, what's my favorite part about creating content? Then I also had 2 different people ask, what's the hardest part or biggest challenge when it comes to being an influencer or a content creator? First one, what's my favorite part about creating content? My favorite part, I think I have 2 favorite things. My first favorite would probably be just the impact that I have on my audience. I love when y'all send me feedback and just send me messages on Instagram or even just comment on my videos telling me how much you have changed since you started watching my channel. That is the best feeling in the world. A lot of people can make content. A lot of people can make, you know, pretty videos, pretty reels, nice aesthetically pleasing content, but that stuff doesn't always touch you right here. It doesn't always like stimulate your mind, and I love the fact that I can do that. My second favorite thing would probably be seeing my vision that I had in my head come to life. When I say that, I'm more so talking about like short form content. I love creating short form content. It used to stress me out, but now I really love it because there's like an art to it, like getting all the different angles and just editing your content in a certain type of way, creating the vibe with the music, putting the voiceover on the video. Like there are so many different ways to convey a message, and I just love that so much. What has been the hardest part of your influencer YouTube content creator journey, and what do you think was your biggest challenge during your influencer journey? Those go hand in hand. The first thing that comes to mind when I think about like the hardest part about being an influencer, like I know a lot of people would say that they compare themselves to other creators, but for me, it's comparing my content to my best performing content that hinders me very often. Me and my boyfriend just talked about this last night. He was talking about how I'm always disappointed, not disappointed, but like I'm always beating up on myself when my videos don't perform super duper well because I'm comparing them to my best performing videos. I have a video on my channel that has like, let me look because I want to be accurate, 648,000 views. My second best has 379,000 views. My third best has 299,000 views. Once I had that first viral video, it was very, very hard for me to not compare my views to that video. I'm learning to just be grateful for the fact that I have videos that blew up like that, because at the end of the day, it's not about videos going viral, especially for me. I didn't make my channel for videos to go viral. I made my channel to touch people, to change people, to help people shift their mindset so that they can become a better version of themselves. But like I was telling my boyfriend last night, I don't care how you flip it. As a content creator, you're always going to want your video to perform well, and I think it's because we put so much time time and effort into our content, we feel like we failed if people don't respond to it the way we thought they would respond to it. So I would say that's the hardest thing. Like, once you have that one video that goes viral, you're gonna feel like all of your videos should go viral, especially if they are very similar to that one. But it's impossible. Everything's not going to perform the same, especially with the algorithm. Some stuff is just out of your control. I'm gonna do 2 more, and then I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because there are hella questions and it's 1:45. I gotta shoot at 2:30. What is your content schedule? Oh shoot, I lost it. Hold up. What is your content schedule? I want to get better at organizing and posting content. That is a great question. First off, I have to tell y'all everything I have going on so that it all makes sense. Y'all know I'm a mom. I have a 3-year-old son. I am an entrepreneur, so I do lashes. So my schedule, like without being a content creator, is different from someone who has a 9-to-5. My schedule is a little unpredictable. The only thing I can really control is my off days and like my morning and evening. So my off days currently are Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and every other Saturday. Next month, I'm cutting the Saturdays completely. I can't do it no more. So at that point, I'm gonna be off Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday. Everyone's gonna hate me, but I don't care. So I try to take advantage of my off days. That's where I really plan to film and edit content. So Mondays, I drop Jax off and then I go to the gym. I come home and I have until maybe like 8 p.m, 8:30 p.m. when his dad brings him home. I have all that time to film whatever I want to film. So I stick to filming on Mondays. If I have extra time throughout the week, I might film on the other days, but Monday is my designated filming day because, like I said, I have to plan to film and edit on the days that I'm off. I always make sure I film a YouTube video, at least one. Sometimes I'll film 2. My goal is to post 1 video a week, and that's on Sundays. If I have something extra or if I just want to put out more videos that month, I'll post on Wednesdays. And I'll use Thursday to edit. Thursday is my designated day to edit. But let's say I'm posting a vlog that week. I can't wait until Thursday to edit because editing vlogs takes me so much longer than editing sit down videos. When I'm doing a vlog, I'll edit a little bit each day or whenever I have free time. Like sometimes I'll take my laptop to work and in between clients or whenever I have a break, I'll be editing a video. Now, when it comes to short form content, I try to just film whatever I can. If I know I need to post some beauty content that week, I'll make sure whenever I sit down to do my makeup for my YouTube video, I'm making short form content out of that. I don't like doing my makeup for no reason. So whenever I am doing my makeup lately, I've been trying to just film it, and a lot of the time I just decide what I'm going to do with it later. There are a lot of questions about thumbnails and titles, but we're going to get into that in the next one. In part 2, I'll get into that. But for the last question, I'll answer, actually, okay, let's answer the titles and thumbnails question. Let's get that out the way. So for thumbnails, I'm not even going to read what the questions say because there are like so many people who ask about titles and thumbnails. For thumbnails, you want to make sure they are clear, concise, and you got to think about what you would click on if you're just scrolling through your homepage on YouTube. That's the thing with YouTube. If you're not making searchable content, that's where the title will come in. We'll get to that in a second. If you're not making searchable content, it has to be something that somebody would actually click on as they're scrolling. I noticed that when I look real cute in my thumbnail, people click on it. That's just what it is. I mean, I can't even be mad because I do the same thing. If somebody looks good, they got on a nice outfit, makeup looking good, hair looking good, I'ma click on it because now I want to see what you got going on. And then whatever words you have on your thumbnail have to be catchy. Like if your title is not catchy, I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. They were asking me like whether they should have a catchy title or a searchable title. And I was telling them like, honestly, it depends because I've done both and I've had some that flopped and some that did really well. Like I went through this era where I did one catchy title and it worked, and then I did another one and that worked, and those videos did really well, and I kept doing that. And then when I realized that that wasn't really working anymore, I had to go back to searchable titles. It really depends on what you're talking about. Now, when it comes to vlogs, you definitely want to make your title something that somebody would want to click on and something that's searchable. For example, I'm currently filming a days in the life of an influencer vlog. That has to be in the title. Everything that I'm mentioning in that video has to be in the title because people are going to want to click that, and people are also searching that. So I'll probably put like filming behind the scenes, or like behind the scenes of filming, batch creating content, affiliate linking tips. You want your title to be something that's catchy. You don't want to just put weekly vlog If you're doing a sit down video, you don't want to just put confidence. What is going to spark the interest of your audience? Just go through like your favorite creators' thumbnails and figure out what makes you click on it. And whatever it is that makes you click on it, try to take some aspects of that and put it into your thumbnail. Not saying steal their whole thing. Don't jock somebody's style. You don't want to copy and paste, but go through the homepage and look and see what all the videos you click on have in common. Yeah, that's my advice for that. I'm gonna do one more. How do you manage the stress of filming content and being consistent with all platforms? I kind of feel like I answered this already, but my number one thing, I did not mention this, my number one piece of advice is don't try to, I don't want to say don't. It's probably not wise for you to focus on every single platform at one time. Like if you're building from scratch, don't stress yourself out and burn yourself out by trying to be super consistent on YouTube and super consistent on Instagram and TikTok, because you will get burned out and you will get stressed out, and then you'll probably eventually just lose the love for creating the content. I'm not even gonna say I started on YouTube. I actually started on Instagram. I had Instagram first, but I was not dedicated to starting my influencer journey on Instagram. At that time, I think I had like 3,000 followers on Instagram, 0 subscribers on YouTube. So again, building it from the ground up. When I was building YouTube and figuring out what worked for me, it was a lot for me to worry about Instagram and TikTok. I was very inconsistent on Instagram. I was very inconsistent on TikTok because I didn't have the brain capacity to figure out those algorithms and figure out what type of content people like over there and what I could post over there and really be filming 2 different things. I started being consistent on Instagram and TikTok when I felt like my YouTube was kind of on autopilot. Like when I felt like I had a community on YouTube and I was in a routine of filming and editing. I knew how much free time I had. I knew where I could fit in short form content. That worked best for me. And I talked to a few other creators who have said the same thing. It's really hard to focus on building all platforms at once from the ground up. The things that I don't usually post over here, I'll post over there because I want to give people a reason to follow me on all the different platforms. I don't want you to be getting the same exact thing. I don't want to just be posting small clips of my YouTube videos on Instagram as reels. I don't want to do that. I would rather give y'all what y'all like, you know, me talking about different topics, but put that in a voiceover on top of me doing styling videos or doing my makeup. And I want to show y'all a little bit more of my personality over there. Sometimes I'll be vlogging for YouTube, and instead of feeling like I have to vlog and create a reel or a TikTok at the same time, like I'll give y'all the behind the scenes in the vlog, and I'll say, if you want to see the final product, go over to my Instagram. I hope I was able to answer a lot of y'all questions. If you have any more, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. Thank y'all so much for 100K. I'm so happy. I'm so full. I am just so grateful to have this platform and to have all of these supporters and this community. Y'all mean more to me than y'all will ever know. Y'all have changed my life. Just like y'all say I've changed yours, y'all have indeed changed my life, and I do not take this for granted. I'm so grateful that God trusted me with this assignment to help, I call it, save lives by shifting mindsets. But yeah, that's it for this one. That's it for part 1. We're gonna do a part 2. Love y'all, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.
Heaven said you to me. I'm just hoping I don't be beat history.